And Dr. Kwak, speaking of Japan, where do you envision collaboration to happen, or are there collaborations right now with Japanese stakeholders?
Back about 5 to 10 years ago, I used to have entrepreneur from Japan. They would come to me for advice, and they would have different Japanese company. Would just every time they come to Cambodia, they would come to me through senior citizen who stay here before. But recently, we lost contact, and hopefully, I will want to have more contact with the Japanese, and hopefully we'll have some business, joint equity business together with the Japanese company. We look forward not just Japanese company, but any other company that would be interested in education. Cambodia is not the same thing as other Southeast Asian country where the education are quite developed and are already at the top level, which means that there are no room for expansion. They already fulfill the requirement and all the infrastructure are already available. But in Cambodia, because of so many years of war and trauma and many of setback, our school system is still limited and our infrastructure are very limited. So the students are studying half day rather than a full day. So imagine millions of students studying half a day. So how long would it take to have a full day? So which means that there's at least 20 to 30 more years before it is fully developed. So private sector play a major role in fulfilling that gaps. So that's the reason why the government are so supportive of the private education by providing tax-free so far for the past 25 years.
Right. And that is why perhaps people are at the center of the Pentagon strategy.
That's right. That's right.
People, road, water, electricity, and
That's
technology.
right. Technology. And this mandate, the government, especially our Prime Minister, he's very supportive of two sectors that he played direct roles, that is in health and also in education. And every year you see an increases of government support funding annual budget in health and education. And we see that education will keep growing and keep moving forward, despite the fact that the government's with the government's support, like I said, the infrastructure has so much shortage that the private sector have to play a major role. But there are only certain limits that we can do because Cambodian economic is still stagnant right now, despite the fact that it is going forward after the setback of economic crisis and also COVID. But in general, people are still striving and growing and living from the hardship that they go through during the COVID. So people find it difficult to have fun, to develop new company. School is no exception. So we still have a lack of fun to develop more new school and also to expand. In our cases, we have difficulty looking for fund to expand our school. We need about at least in the next 5 years, look forward to have 30 more campuses to meet the demand. But as of now, we're struggling to look for fund.
Right.
So hopefully we will have some partner from Japan who would be interested in joining us as a partner in education with equity partner. Yes.
Understood. And I can imagine that on the Japanese side, as you may imagine, Japan is an aging country.
That's right.
So for these groups to experience more growth, they have to venture outside of Japan.
That's true. That's true.
Traditionally, Thailand has been the destination, but even Thailand right now is saturated. So that is why we thought Cambodia presents the blue ocean of opportunity.
That's right. And Cambodia is a blue oceans business, and it also an opportunity place for FDI. there's so many sectors are open, are available, and much easier at this time for foreign direct investment. Both the tourism, the education, the health sector, the agriculture, the transportation system, and so on. There's so many sectors that foreigner can have a role, play a major role in helping develop Cambodia. Despite the fact we are working so hard on our own to grow, and right now predicted to be next year, but we still want to have as many FDI as possible.
Right.
Yes.
And speaking from where you sit, Dr. Kwat, what do you think makes the Japanese an ideal partner?
Well, Japanese has been in good term with Cambodia for the past 75 years. And Japanese know Cambodia very well. And Japanese government has been working closely with our government, supporting through JICA in so many projects, roads, bridges, and support in agriculture, in human development, and so on. So it's only ideal for Japanese people to come and join their government in helping develop Cambodia through joint venture or through equity partner and so on.
And if I may add, and this is based on my experience as well, speaking with other Cambodian executives, is that they always speak of the long-term view that the Japanese have towards relationships.
Yes.
There is this off-running joke that when the Japanese think about a quarter, it's not 3 months, but 25 years.
Yes, yes.
So,
Japanese do things seriously, and they do things very detailed, meticulous. From our understanding, with dealing with different people, Japanese are one of the very few people that work seriously and think seriously and take things very meticulous, very detailed, and for long-term purposes. And their product come out to be the best of the best so far. We can see that.
right.
Yes.
And I'm just down to my last question, Dr. Kwok.
Mm-hmm.
You mentioned about some of the challenges of Cambodia, and through no fault of your own, a lot of these challenges are outside of our control. War in
Yes.
Ukraine, pandemic.
Yeah.
But what do you think are your reasons to be optimistic about the short to medium term for the country?
Well, I see that this new mandate, the government are very proactive in developing the country, and they're taking so many measures that help develop the country. And each measures, they go after it. They're very proactive on it, and so we can see that very quick, a short period of time. But a lot of things have been done, and he have told so many countries to find a partner in cooperation with Cambodian businessmen. And we see recently they have meeting with the Japanese diplomat.
Yes.
And so there's a lot of things going on in Cambodia. Unlike any other country, we don't have any natural disaster, and we don't face any war or any threatened political instability or anything like that.
Yes.
And the demand for education or the demand for health, demand for agriculture are always on the rise, and the population keep growing. We're probably one of the countries that have having the highest number of youth in the country. So everything you look at it's quite prospective, quite positive, and I understand that your point of saying optimistic view is true, and not for just only short term, but also for long term. Yes. Mm-hmm.
And perhaps it is not an exaggeration to say, Dr. Khan, that a majority of the population, right, average age 26 years old, did not experience what the previous generations have experienced in Cambodia.
Yes, yes. They don't experience what we have experienced, especially those from 26 to 35 years of age. They live in a free world. They live in a country where there's no war. There's no any political instability, and there's peace and growth, and so many freedoms available, and less poverty, reduced starvation, almost none. And you see also that Cambodia moving forward for good opportunity, for good development and working with the different government to start a good cooperation, and hopefully there will be more investment coming in soon because of the activeness of our Prime Minister.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
It is the same experience of the youth in the Philippines. As
Yes.
a matter of fact, my parents would call us spoiled.
Not spoiled, but just different experience in different period of time.
Yeah.
So every period of time you have your own difficulty in different way.
Mm.
Yes, but to the older people, they always think that we are spoiled or they are spoiled. But if you ask the young generation, they say, "Oh, I'm going through difficulty," but not in the same way as you are having.
Yes.
You were having before.
Yes,
That's
yes.
right. Mm.
I think the Gen Z right now, their
Mm.
problem is they don't know what to do in life.
Yes.
Usually that's the
I heard people say the Gen Z are probably the most confused generation. I hope that's not the case.
Well, through education,
Yes.
they will be able to.
Mm.
What quote I specifically remember from my professor,
Mhm.
and I majored in philosophy.
Oh, that's
So
great.
I studied in New York City,
Mhm.
and he said, "Becoming is more important than having."
Mhm.
So
Oh, that's great. That's
it's
great.
really about the personal development,
Mhm.
and it is very clear that the organization, despite business, of course, being important, profits are important.
Mhm.
It's really that human development.
That's right. That's right. And we do our best to make sure that we help reduce many human resources as possible and help them develop to become better citizens, so that they can help lead our country into a better direction. And Cambodia, especially right now, in need of good leader to help Cambodia move to the next generation. We have met our target for 2015 to go for low economic to middle economic level, and hopefully going to 35 upper higher economic level in 2035, and eventually high income level country in 2050. And I think we will meet the target by then. Yes. Mhm.
And Dr. Kwok, thank you once again for
Thank you.
the insights and what's